Good afternoon everyone, I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me, Toni Darroch, live in my studio. For those of you who maybe don't know who I am or are maybe watching for the first time, I'm a guest presenter over on Create and Craft, and I love anything to do with stamps, dies, craft in general. I just love making things and giving them to somebody and putting a smile on their face, and I'm sure that's what you love too at home. If you are watching on Facebook, don't forget to pop a comment underneath and let me know which card you like the best. If it's a technique you've used before, we do like to hear from you. And if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button. This allows us as crafters to make sure that people are watching and, you know, wanting to learn and maybe pick up some inspiration, but it also shares what we're doing as well. I don't think any great ideas are born from ourselves. I think it's the caring and sharing that we all provide through our card making. So if you are watching at home now, grab a cup of tea, and I'm going to do 3 demos using some fabulous stencil techniques. So before you do disappear and before you grab that cup of tea, here is a little inspiration whilst I get ready for my first demonstration. So for my first demonstration today, I'm going to be using our fabulous brand new blending brushes, which are due to land any day, and as soon as I do I will let you all know. But I'm also going to be revisiting some of our older products too, and I mean like old products. Just because they're old doesn't mean we still don't use them, or I use them all the time. So if you haven't got our products though, please don't worry about it, and please don't switch off. You might have something in your stash that works to create the demo or the technique that I'm going to show you. I do apologise about the voice, it is getting better. I do feel like I've swallowed my dog. It's a little bit harsh, should we say, but it's coming good. So I'm sorry if it's grating a little bit because it's killing me to death. So for my first demonstration, I'm going to use these 2 lovely products here, and these are from some products we launched earlier this year, and they're from our lovely collection. So you get the stamp of the O, and then you get the coordinating outline die, but it also cuts out in an entity on its own. If you saw these products, you will know that it was over a launch of the whole word lovely. So you can get the L, the O, the V, the E, the LY. So if there is something you like, the great thing about these is, like for the O, and then you get is for, you get the word is for there, and then is for obviously perfect. The key to my heart belongs to only you. So obviously the O. And then you get the flower embellishments build up. But what we're going to do today is we're just going to use the die. So let's move on first. So let's just set that aside. So here I have my card blank. And what I'm going to do ahead of time is I've cut the O. Now you can see here there is a little floral embellishment, and to go with the die you do get the floral embellishment stamp which goes in there and the outline die, but I'm not going to use that because I want to do a bit of stenciling today. So if you have got this product, it's a fab way to get more use out of them rather than just the traditional letter O with a flower on. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop the O in the centre of this top folding note card, like so. What I'm going to do first, though, I'm sorry for the sniffs, the coughs, the grunts, I'm so sorry, and it is ugly, but please just bear with it. It is getting better. So I'm just popping this on my grid here just to help me line up my O, make sure it's straight for one. I'll just pull it down up a little bit, there we go. When I'm happy it's in place, I'm just going to hold my card in place just over this little corner here because I don't want my card to move. And what I've got ahead of time is a stencil out of my stash. It's just an everyday stencil. I couldn't even tell you where this one's from. I've had it a while now. But my stencils would work. It's just one I've got to hand. Thirsty brush stencil. Any stencil you've got in your stash, this will work. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this stencil over that O. And I'm going to prick. I'll try and get it as symmetrical as I can. I appreciate we're not going to be able to get it perfect, but I am going to have a good go. And then some tape to hold this in place too, on top of our taped down card. Like so. I'm going to tape it on all four corners. I'll not take the risk. So it's all in place there like so. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our fabulous new blending brushes. Now if you didn't watch the show last week, I did a little bit of an input on this. I'm not going to go through it again. Just go back and watch the last show. But basically they are a blending brush with an ergonomic handle that's going to allow you to blend with ease. They are better on the wrist, they are better on the palm. They're self-cleaning, they come in a lovely handy storage box. We have three types. We have silk, smooth and texture. The texture one has lovely bobbles on the end so you can get texture on your artwork. But they are due this week or next. And like I say, as soon as they do come, I will be sending an email out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some lovely colours. So I think let's go with orange and a yellow. We can always add more. It's easier to go light first and then add more colour if you want it. Excuse me. Add more colour if you want it darker. So let's go with our lightest colour first, the yellow. And I am going to use the same brush because it works. But before I do obviously change into a different colour, I will clean the brush onto some tissue or a microfiber cloth, then you're good to go on your next colour. So you don't have to have lots of these brushes, they do self-clean. So I'm just going to pick up some of this lovely yellow here. And I can just see the O under there. So I'm just going to go in with my brush and add some yellow in the centre of that O. And get a beautiful blend every time. I'm not even hardly putting any pressure on. What I did before I did come to air though was I did re-ink my ink pads. They were slightly dry and it is potentially the lights in here. So if you have got a warm room at home and you're finding, you know, that they're quite dry, just rehydrate them with your re-inkers because they'll last you forever. So I'm also going around the outside of this O as well, but what I'm trying not to do is take it right to the edge of my card. I'm trying to stay clear of the edge of my card because I just get it give a better effect if we stay away from that edge. like so. So I think that's a good one. I'm happy with that. So before I swap onto the orange, just going to clean it on here, give it a good old swizzle round. You can see the excess ink on there. If you want to go a little bit further and turn it over and do it again, you see that there, the brush is clean and good to go. So just set that aside. Let's move on to an orange. I'll pick up some of this lovely orange. I'm just maybe going to go on the inside of here like so. So it creates maybe a little like tunnel as if it's going through the O this time. And because the brushes are that fab, you get a seamless blend, so you don't have the ugly lines. Just a little bit darker, and then I'm going to do the same around the outside of our O. I know it's difficult for you guys to see at home, but there is an O under there. Trying my best not to colour all that yellow as well, sorry for the head. I'm just angling my brush slightly. And I think I might add a little bit of red too, just to make it a little bit more impactful. So if you've got our inks at home, I'm using the Raspberry 01, and the other two I used was Orange 01 and Yellow 01. Is anybody else suffering at home? I think it's just the changing weather, isn't it? You know, heating's been turned on. I think a lot of people are suffering. So I'm just picking up some of the lovely red, and I'm just going to pop a little bit in there. Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? Just make it a little bit darker. Maybe a little bit on the outside if I can. Just feather it out. These sorts of cards, some may say it's time consuming, but I honestly believe that the effects you get are well worth the effort if you've got the time and patience. Definitely worth the effort. See, I had a little line there, and I just went back over it, and it's just blended out beautifully. I'm just going to blend that. I think we'll leave that. I think you can over egg too, so I'm going to leave that one. So I'll just clean this off. And despite me saying I want to stay away from the edge, I haven't been able to do that. But you can take a little bit more time at home. So let's take this off then. Just remove our stencil out of the way. And then just grab a knife if I can get my scissors. And then what you're left with is this like beautiful O. So try, if you can, keep it symmetrical. I know it's difficult. You could do the whole thing. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. I just wanted to try and create a hue. But I could go back over that if I wanted to. But you get the idea at home if, you know. So if you have any letter dies, this is a great way to utilise them in a different manner to what they were really created for. And again, look at that. That would make a beautiful card too. That looks quite cool in itself. So if you were to then do another card and then pop that one on that card, you've got another card good to go. So two really for the price of one. So what I did ahead of time is in the stamp set, you get Obviously Perfect in there, and I've stamped it in two separate pieces. So you get Perfect, and then Obviously here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my fine liner pen and I'm just going to do a bit of a wonky edge around here. So nothing fancy, so corner to corner. This just creates a little bit of a boundary and gives it a little bit of interest. Now you could mat and layer it onto some coloured cardstock if you want to, but I just like the randomness of this one. So whilst I'm doing this, I want to tell you that we are launching something on week commencing the 25th of November. And the launch is happening here in our very own studio. Now I have to say, it's probably one of the biggest launches we've ever done. And we're launching it right here in my own studio. I am so excited about it. If you are not one of our newsletter sign-ups, you need to be, because we will be sending some information out to you all very, very soon about what's coming. There will be some sneak peeks from the design team also, and I will be in studio. We haven't picked a date yet, but it will be week commencing the 25th, and excuse me, I have picked one day and we're going to be live for 4 hours. Okay, so that basically means we're going to be live 10 till 11, 12 till 1, 2 till 3, 4 till 5. 4 live hours for a brand new launch here at Stamps by Me. The products are going to be on TV in January, and there will be some bundle exclusivities to TV, but the actual launch is going to be live right here in my very own studio. I've got so much to show you, hence the reason we have 4 hours. I have to show you the products, I have to show you how to use them, I have to show you all the key features, and I have to show you how to get the most out of them. Therefore I need a long time. So keep an eye on your newsletter, keep an eye on social media, because I will be sending it out. And if you can clear a day, that's brilliant. If you have to go to work, which I appreciate, we all have to work, they will all be live studios on YouTube, so you won't miss out. You can go and revisit them. Let me know your thoughts, okay? So it's just a massive event for me. Please let me know what you think, positive or negative. You know, Stamps by Me, we try and get everything right, not all the time, but it would be lovely to get feedback. So week commencing the 25th of November, which is only over a week. So let's get back to our demo. So we have our lovely O here, and I have this rose here. So this rose is from, I will just find it for you. So I know a lot of you have got this one. It's this one here, the yellow rose. So I've stamped it out, I've coloured the head, and I've cut it out. I've coloured it with my oil pencils, and I cut the leaves too separate, so I could just build an embellishment on this card here. Everything I use in studio is on our FBL, so if you go to the search engine on Stamps by Me and pop FBL in the search engine, it brings up all the products I've used in studio, so you don't have to worry about going to find them. You should have easy access on there. So I'm just going to pop a pad behind here, just one. I'm just going to place this over where the embellishment, excuse me, crikey, where the embellishment should be. Naturally, if I was to use the elements within the stamp set. I have the lovely green leaves, given they are very small, but I just wanted a little bit of dimension. So I'm going on and popping them in there. Like so, and then this perfectly obviously perfect. To make it look like we've made it skew with on purpose, don't we? There we go. So we'll leave that as is. You could put some embellishments on there, could make it as fancy if you wanted to. I know you've all got flower dies and stamps in your stash. You could use any flower embellishment on that corner of that letter. So get your products dug out and give this technique a try. It is a lovely technique. It's not my technique, it's one that I found on Pinterest. I was inspired by somebody else's card, so I thought, well, we'll share it here and hopefully I'll inspire somebody else. So that's demo number 1. Here it is, some more inspiration for you whilst I get ready for demo number 2. So for demo number 2, I have another white card blank. And what I've done ahead of time is I've cut a heart out of this piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to use the central part of it. So traditionally you would use the heart, wouldn't you, that came out of the centre like so, but I'm going to use this one, the recess should we say. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste my card blank on there, and again, because, oops, just swap that out a second. I'm just going to hold my work in place just a little bit. And I'm going to pop the heart on top where I think I want it. Well, look at that, it just fits. That was lucky, very lucky. And now hold this in place like so. I'm just going to stick with the same stencil, but what I am going to do first off is I'm just going to give it a clean, because it's got all the ink on from our last demo. I'm just going to give it a wipe over. I am using some darker colours in the next demo, so I don't think it'll be too bad. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hinge this over that lovely heart. Let's turn it over actually. Could we turn it over? Let's turn it over, and then we'll not take the risk with the orange ink transferring. So I've turned it over. I'm going to pick the best pattern, try and get it as straight as I can in there again, like so. So I'm going to hold this one down as well, make my life a little bit easier. I'm going to hold it down a little bit secure this time because the technique is a little bit different. take no risks. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I've got a VersaFine ink pad, and these are sticky ink pads. I'm just going to ink through the stencil into that heart. So all the way around. What I should have done before I popped the stencil on is use my anti-static bag, and that would have given me a cleaner finish. But it's too late now, but at least you guys know at home to use your anti-static bag. So I'm not swiping, I'm just pouncing from the top, and that's probably going to give me the best results if I take it from the top down, because I'm pushing the stencil down. So I'm making sure I've got lots and lots of ink on there. Now this is quite an open stencil. Maybe a detailed stencil would work a little better, but because I'm just working with this one, we'll go with it. Make sure you get all that detail around that heart, because we need excuse me excuse me, sorry, we need that heart detail in there too. So I'll take my heart off. You should have a pretty heart in the centre there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some heat embossing powder on there, some lovely white. Can you see that there? I'll just tilt it this way again, because I think, can you see that there? Get this beautiful like detail through a heart. So don't restrict yourself to the size of a stencil. The size of a stencil is actually irrelevant. If you do it through shapes and elements, you're really quite good to go. You can get so much out of them. So I'm just going to get my gun good and hot. And then we'll activate this embossing powder. I'm not sure if it'll pick this up, but as soon as I heat it, set it, it will go like a glossy white. There you go. See how beautiful, there we go. See how beautiful that is? Absolutely gorgeous. Now, you could absolutely just go on now with colour all over and just enjoy. The plan was, for me, is to just be a little bit, try and be a little bit more creative, she says. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heart over, pop it back over, pop it back in place so I get that lovely heart detail in there. I'm going to hold it back in place. Let's get a bit more tape. Let's get it nice and secure. So I'm just using my old tape from what I've just used. Let's use it again. Make sure it's held down tight. Like so. So the rest of my card should stay white, hopefully. And then we've got two more colours. We've got a lovely purple and we've got a fuchsia. So if you have got these at home, the colours I'm using are purple, dark purple 03 and fuchsia 03, but you might have some similar colours if you want to try and create the same effect. So I'm just going to grab a brush. I'll just make sure it's clean, which it is. And I'm just going to grab some of this lovely pink from here. I'm just going to go straight into the centre here. So don't worry about if it goes onto the white, because it will wipe off the white. A baby wipe will bring it back. Oops, it's moved. Cheeky. Pop it back in. I'll try and hold it better with my hand. So I'm just going to go in with a lovely pink in the centre. Get lots of colour on there if I can. And as you can see, the white's already acting as a resist. It looks really lovely. So I'm just going to get that as dark as I can on there. Maybe take it up there a little bit. Like so. Now just clean my brush. Swap it out for purple. See the beautiful effect you get there. So I am trying to hold it so it doesn't move. It's not, I haven't taped it down the best. So I'm just going to go back with the pink and just add a little bit more pink to the centre. And then what happens, end up with a beautiful heart on your card, which is embossed and has had resist on there. Can we see that there? And just, there we go. Now, if you've got a tissue, just went back in, all you have to do is just, can you see what I'm doing? Just burnishing that white, and it's bringing the colour off the white. So I'm just going back in, bringing that white embossing powder back to life. It's just getting rid of that excess ink on there. And you end up with that beautiful resist in the background. So you just stamp a sentiment across the bottom or pop something in the centre, you're literally good to go. I just want to move on to another quick demonstration. We are running out of time, and I will finish it for the photograph on Facebook, but you get the idea that just remember to try and mask and do something a little bit different rather than using the stencil as an entity on its own. So let's move on to demonstration number 3. It's a quick one is this one, but I just felt like it'd be very fitting for this show. So, excuse me. So just moving everything to one side. So ahead of time, I've heat embossed this lovely background, number 4. This is one of our most popular ones. And it's a sketchy leafy sort of like thing, so it lends itself really lovely to background techniques and things like that. So it's just a piece of white cardstock, and I've just heat embossed it on in white. You don't think you'll be able to there, you can just see it there. So let's chop it out now. Let's change some inks. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop some onto my mat and give it a little spritz with some water. So the oxides are a little bit different in the sense they give a chalky appearance, a very muted appearance. So it's whatever suits you as a crafter. What do you like to do? So just spotting this yellow one. Can we see how it's picking up that detail? See that there? Beautiful. I love this colour. This is actually the colour in our new office. Mustard. There we go. So I'll just clean that little bit of yellow away. Always remember to clean away before you move on to your next colour, because you probably end up with a really ugly colour you don't like. That's yellow, so let's go for abandoned coral. And let's fill these spaces where we've got no colour. See that there? I want the whole card covered. There we go, lovely. These two colours work really, really well together, abandoned coral and fossilised amber. You see that there? I'm just going to quickly dry that one off. I'm just going to take the colour off my white embossing a little bit. Remember, it wipes off. If you've got a baby wipe, don't worry about it if the ink goes onto your stamp detail. It does wipe off. It's a resist. It's a melted plastic, so it will always resist anything you put on top. And then lastly, with the same stencil we've worked on most of the evening, I'm just going to pop this directly on top. So this is sort of like layer building. So if you are into your backgrounds and things, they look gorgeous. So I'm going to stick with the same colours. They will be a little bit more intense simply because they're not diluted with water. So just clean that off, get rid of that purple. Pick up some of this lovely pink. All I'm going to do is go straight on top. Tape yours down. You will have more time at home. Tape yours down. So that's the pink. Oops. And we just move on to our lovely mustard. Just clean my brush. Look at that. How effective is that? Excuse me. And then all you need to do then is just take your clean tissue, sorry I couldn't think of the word, give it a good old push onto that embossing powder, and what will happen is it'll push that stencil detail straight into the background and bring your artwork back to the front. See that there? And if you just mounted that onto a black top folding note card with something in the centre, you're literally good to go. So I hope you've liked today's studio, something a little bit different maybe for some of you. Like I said, if you are new to the studio, welcome. We do try different things all the time, so it is a lovely place to come and learn and visit. So please don't forget to click the subscribe button, and you'll get notifications all the time of what we're doing live here in studio. So that's been using some stencils in my stash, some of our older stamps and dies, and nothing more really. A little bit of ink, all of the things you will have at home. So whatever you're doing, have a great evening. I'm back with you on Wednesday, and don't forget what I said about week commencing the 25th of November with a brand new launch. Before you go anywhere though, here is some more inspiration, and I will catch you all on Wednesday at 4 p.m. See you later. Bye.